Yesterday, while we were at the Afro Connect event, trying to reflect on the vision of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the greatest African politician that ever lived, not the shambolic ones we are experiencing these days. The greatest politician that ever lived, the African of the century, according to the BBC. While we're reflecting on his 7-year development plan, while we're reflecting on the factories that he had set up to industrialize the country to make us free, and not going around begging for people to give us handouns from Second World War and repatriation, retribution, whatever it is. We're thinking of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and how many factories he set up, how he employed people, how he made the country so desirable for people to want to stay and not run away like we're seeing our young people running away. Go to the various embassies. Young people are running away. Your professionals are fleeing from the country. Go to the embassies. And yesterday, while I was at the event, I was taking a lot of photos with a lot of patrons. People came there, oh, Johnnie Hughes, how are you? We watch you every day. People, their mothers, their cousins, their aunties, they were taking photos with me. And I can tell you, about half of the young people who came to take photos with me were saying, boss, you don't get any connection, we won't go. That's where we are now. And we started the conversations around there, hoping that things would change. Something will fall into the heads of our leaders so that they will reorient their minds and change. 2 days ago, I showed you a front page story of the Daily Graphic that says, Graphic and Stambik, they had a meeting, the breakfast meeting, and they said, look, cut down on your expenditure, government. And I said, Apunto, because government won't do it. How many times has that not been said? Even by elements within the NPP. Akufo-Addo will not listen to you. But Akufo-Addo, as a serial demonstrator, with the benefit of power, has proven that he doesn't like demonstrations. Dr. George Akufu-Dampare told the demonstrators who were supposed to picket at the Jubilee House that they do not have men, the police. When I say Akufu-Dampare, I'm talking about the police because Mr. Akufu-Dampare has centralized all the communication of the police service at the headquarters. So you can't speak to policemen across. If you want information, you call the headquarters. And it is when they want to speak to you that they speak to you. Otherwise, they will put it in a statement. Go and read the statement. And can you ask a paper a question? They told the people that they do not have enough men to guide them to demonstrate. That's what they told the people. That they do not have the men to guide them to demonstrate. But they had the men to go and wait for them at the Jubilee House and pick them up, manhandle them, beat them before they kept them in cell and then gave them the leave, what do you call it, the bail. If you have the video of the people being beaten, put the video up. Well, if you have the video, put the people being beaten up. Ghana police. There's something called common sense. That you don't have the men to be able to shepherd people to demonstrate. But you have the men to be able to arrest, manhandle, and beat people. The height of that was when a BBC reporter and a cameraman were picked up. The police has written a statement to say, oh, that was not exactly it. Come back to me. That, oh, the people were arrested, and then when they identified themselves as journalists, they were released immediately. Really? You didn't see their tags? You didn't see the camera? You just picked them up? What a shame. I feel sad for the BBC journalists and the cameraman and all pressmen who have been manhandled. But this should send a strong signal to the BBC and all foreign media that those of us here in the heat, when we tell you what is happening, you don't come to whitewash what we are telling you. When we say the country had BBC would give us a different narrative. When we say the countries has CNN will give us a different, as if they live here with us. And that is why they will say Koscielny Meko is egg and tomato. We who have our country, who know what's happening, they will tell us, now a BBC journalist was picked up. Now the BBC will know that all is not well. And now when Nanado goes out there to be speaking at the UN and all those places, he will be looked at with a different eye because under his watch as a serial demonstrator, all is not well. There's a Kumipreku Ghana map. Show me. Kumipreku, the map. There's a map. 1995, when Nanado was busy demonstrating and leading a demonstration in the favor of the masses of the people and the people of the... Put it up for me. High cost of food. Low wages and salaries, inflation, high cost of living, mass unemployment. Kumipreku march. He says, join the march. This was what Nanado dan Kweku Fado. Kweku Baku Jr., Dr. Nyahonya Hotamaklo, Victor Newman, Kwesi Pratt, Mr. Cromwell, and all the others. Nanado dan Kweku. This was what they led Ghanaians to demonstrate about in 1995. The question is, what has changed? The things have changed because Nanado is in power. And you see, Nanado's posture to demonstration is, each time you want to demonstrate, either the police will tell you they don't have the men, or the police will run to court and go and seek an injunction to prevent you from demonstrating. But the same police people, they meet us on the side and they say, boss, Kebi Mayen, we are saying something for you and you are busy beating us. Are you wise? Is that a wise thing to do? You ask people to speak for you. Then when the people start speaking for you, you start beating them and you say it is order from above. Order from which so-called above? You are sleeping in single rooms with freezers all over your place. You have a family of 4. You are sleeping in a single room. It is as hot as an oven. Then they put you in a black uniform in the sun. And they ask you to beat people who are speaking so your conditions will change. And you say it's order from above. There's something wrong with your head. There's something wrong with your head. It has to be re-examined. This one you are dressing to go to work. And then when they bring order from above, you will go and do it. You work in a regimented space. Sometimes we behave as if we are robots that have a remote control which battery has run down. You have a robot. It has a remote control. The battery in the remote control is dead. So when you try to control the robot, it doesn't move. That's how sometimes we behave in this country. The people were demanding for good governance. They say you are mismanaging the government. And anybody, you're mismanaging the country. And everybody knows this. If we didn't know this, why would the president come and say that we're in a difficult time? How did we get there? And before anybody comes to tell me about COVID, Russia, Ukraine, maybe you can add Guinea, you can add Mali, you can add Burkina Faso, you can add Gabon. Under John Dramani Mahama, there was a demonstration in this country called Occupy Flagstaff House. You remember that? Yofi Grant was there. Ken Oforiatta was there. Isankuma was there. Godado was there. The guy at PMMC. All the creme de la creme. People who have gotten employment under this government and juicy deals under this government. Some for their wives. They were part of that demonstration. They sat on the street. I covered that demonstration at National Theatre. It was raining. They were allowed to demonstrate to the point where they even were given access into the Jubilee House to present their petition. Valerie Soya and Omani Boama, they came to receive it. In fact, at some point, Omani Boama even made a comment in jest, and he was taken on by the so-called people who are all quiet. Kofi Kapito, all of them. They are quiet today. They were given access into the Flagstaff House or the Jubilee House, whichever way you want to call it, because we are a confused nation. We don't know if we are jubilating or we are keeping the flag. Show me Nanado demonstrating in 1995. Show me that Kumipreku. Show me. Just show me.
In the name of Jesus Christ.
We knew that the first half of this year would be difficult for the point of view of inflation. And then last year's harvest, food harvest, was the worst we've had since about 1983. So the harvest was so lean that we knew that come this first quarter of the year, there will be problems with food prices.
That's right. The problem is that we haven't been able to...
The policies that the government has been implementing are policies that do not find favor with the general mass of our people, and that the mass of the people of this country have been systematically impoverished during the period of Rawlings's rule. It is not a point of view that has found very much favor in the parts of the world from where you come from, who have been pouring out an endless stream of how so many things wonderful were going on in Ghana.
So that was a taste of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo demonstrating. He's wearing a black cloth with red band. You saw all his contemporaries, some senior to him. This government's posture to demonstrations, I'll tell you. You remember when the law students wanted to demonstrate? Right here in front of the Canadian embassy, they were sprayed with hot water because they were going to the Jubilee House to go and drop their petition. That's all. Law students in their suit and tie. They were sprayed with hot water. I was there. I covered it. I saw it. And the posture of this government, whenever you want to demonstrate, is first for the police to run to the court to say, well, it is okay for the police to use the courts. But when it becomes one too many want to demonstrate, we don't have the men. They go to court, injunction. Next moment, the people, the same men that they say they don't have, are in full armor. They were there. You remember the demonstration at Circle where they sent trainee police people. I say trainee police people because if you've lived in the barracks before and somebody has a 1 star, right? 1 star. It is not the metal, but it has been embroidered. And then you have the hat. And then there's all white across it. There's no crown on it. You know that that person is at the academy. He's here to pass out. They sent them to come and police serial demonstrators like Bernard Mona. And you saw when they picked the tear gas, they threw it, and then it fell right within their midst. I can give you a plethora of demonstrations that people had wanted. Fix the country. They wanted to demonstrate. What happened? It took forever. In fact, there was a huge resistance. Fix yourself. We are fixing it. Any on the front page of the Ghanaian Times today, the information minister is not preoccupied with the hardship that the people have. He says that they should take communications setting, agenda setting seriously. He is asking ministries, departments, and agencies to set agenda. He's not asking them to fix the problem. So he said we should spin like Joseph Goebbels. You go and hide. When he comes, he'll come and tell us to spin. The people are hungry. Your young people are running out of the country. When you say, they say, oh, but people travel every time. I say the speed with which your young people are running out of the country, it must be worrying to you. Your nurses are running away. They will leave you in the hands of inexperienced nurses. Maybe when you get ill, you have money to pick your passport and go and heal yourself elsewhere like Ken Oforiatta and all our big men do. But if you were going to Kolebu, like all of us, and Kolebu is as messed as it is, where director of plastic surgery is also doubling as the CEO. And this morning there will be a press conference there at 8:30. There are issues at Kolebu. If you were as concerned as I am, you would help to fix the local system. You will help to retain the professionals here. But no, you have the benefit of power and authority. And so I asked the police people this question this morning. That's my last question. When you come to us, some of you in Mufti, and you meet us as parties and you introduce yourself, you show us your ID card and you talk passionately with us. And then you ask us to go and speak for you. When we start speaking for you, and then you tell us order from above, And then you manhandle the people who are trying to articulate the very things that you have asked them to articulate. The question is, are you okay? Is everything okay? We are all suffering. If you go to the watch seller, whether to buy with a QR code or whatever it is that Dr. Baumia did, they will take money from you. I ask Dr. Baumia to go and buy watch with a QR code and let's see how things will pan out. The president behaves like an ostrich. Things happen and it's quiet. When the police went to Asin North and they did a brilliant job, the government was quick to take credit for it, even though the General Secretary of the NPP at Asin North said they were being intimidated and they will be forced to take the law into their own hands or to defend themselves. JFK, he said it. The tape is there. If you doubt me, I'll play it for you. Subsequently, the government came to take credit for it. That the police have done well. So when something bad happens right at the doorstep of the Jubilee House, we will blame the president. Why? Are you suggesting to me that there was nobody at the Jubilee House, there was no chief of staff, no deputy chief of staff, there was no Sayo, Nukpa Beje and Loa in front of the Jubilee House when all that chaos and mayhem was happening, when people were being slapped, beaten up, bundled into buckets of vehicles, pushed into buses, Bridget Otu's dress it was ripped and all of that? Are you suggesting to me that there was no sensible person at the Jubilee House to have come out to say, this is not good? The people are watching. The people are getting wise. No amount of gender agenda setting and spin, no amount of intimidation, no amount of press down and push over, no amount of any other thing will let the people slow down. The people know what the truth is, and the people will listen to the truth and act on the truth. You are just bad managers of the economy. And because of that, people are suffering. School children are vacating 4 times this year alone. 4 times. And each time they vacate and go back, we pay school fees. Is that good governance? And that is because you have failed to provide common textbooks for the children. So we are going back to the old system that you bastardized and said we had to change, Mr. Process. Shame on you. Those are the real issues we are talking about. You have failed to provide textbooks. You have failed to provide the textbooks. You change the curriculum, you have failed to provide the right infrastructure. You change the curriculum, you say it's going to be learner-based, you have failed to provide the right furniture for the children. And then now you are going back to the old system. You know how many generations you have messed up with that warped initiative that you took? Children now don't take exam in public schools. They are rolled over. Children are not repeated, they are rolled over. Children are not being beaten, they are rolled over. What kind of a generation are you building? Insolent generation? What kind of education did you have? Even as the son of a president of the country, what kind of education did you have, Mr. President? And I've told you, at Legon, you were getting free breakfast, free lunch, free supper with snack. And you were getting a full-course dinner every Wednesday. That's where the term ACAP pomposity comes from. You, Mr. President. Today, you can't even feed children with 97 pesos. That school children have to go on strike and demonstrate against you. And when I say this, it is normal, it happened before. You promised change. The times of the 80s when there was hunger cannot be compared to 2023. In 1983, there was no planting for food and jobs. For you to come and tell us that there is food glut, even though it is a figment of your own imagination. In 2023, there's planting for food and jobs. In 2023, you say we are doing way better. But go and check the IMF chart. Your scorecard is that you are number 1. Borrow. Things are not right. And it doesn't make sense to suppress the people if they want to at least demonstrate, to vent out those things. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. When you don't allow people to express their anger, and you leave the people and you suppress their anger, one day when the anger erupts, you cannot contain it. I have advised you. Good morning.